Hey, welcome to Driving with John. Today I got a crazy story for you. Let's get it started. This story takes place in the 1980s, before all the modern technology that we take for granted these days. 17-year-old Melissa is about to go through one of the scariest things that a girl can go through.
It was a Friday night, and there was a school dance that I had been looking forward to. All of my friends were going to be there. That night we had a blast dancing to all our favorite songs. The dance ended at 9 p.m., and that's when I said goodbye to all my friends and I got in my car to go home.
Melissa had worked hard for the last year to buy this car. It wasn't the prettiest car, it was kind of an older car and not in the best of shape, but it did represent the ticket to her freedom. Melissa got on the highway to head home. All of a sudden, the car started bucking and spitting and sputtering. So she pulled to the side of the road, and just as she got to the shoulder, it stalled. She tried to turn it over to get it to start again, but it wouldn't start.
I was all by myself, and I had no idea what was wrong. I was still several exits away from my exit, so I decided to get out and walk to the exit just ahead to find the phone to call my dad. When I got out of the car and started walking, a man in a pickup truck noticed me and pulled over. He offered me a ride to the gas station. I said okay, and I thanked him when I got into his truck. The man hesitated for a while to pull out onto the road, and he just sat there looking at me. Instinctively, I crossed my arms in front of me, holding my right elbow in my left hand, and the man got a grin on his face and a look in his eyes that gave me the impression that he was up to no good.
The man started saying things to Melissa that made her feel very uncomfortable. He started making verbal advances, not physical ones, but the verbal advances were not subtle at all.
I was thinking in my head about all the things that this guy might be trying to do. All of the options that played out in my head were no good. I thought he was probably going to rape me. I might even be beaten somewhere and left by the side of the road, or killed. But nothing in my head that was playing out was gonna be good.
Melissa's fight or flight instincts kicked in. She began to hold her breath and focus on the one thing that she really needed to do. It had become clear that she was in danger, and she needed to make a plan to get out of that truck as soon as possible. So she figured that best chance would be at the red light at the bottom of the exit ramp. That would be her best chance to escape this horrible situation. Do me a favor. Why don't you hit subscribe, hit that like button. Let's get back on with the video.
So I checked the lock on my door to make sure it was unlocked as we took the exit. As soon as we got to the red light, I opened the door and I just started running.
Across the road was a truck stop. A trucker who was parked there to take his 30-minute break had just parked. He saw Melissa get out of the pickup truck and saw her running as fast as she could away from it. The trucker recognized that she was probably in some trouble, so he got out of his rig and caught up to her as quickly as he could and asked her, "Are you okay?"
I was frantic. My heart was racing, and I wasn't able to get much out to tell him. All I could say was, "Help me."
The trucker looked back towards the light where the pickup truck was sitting that Melissa had ran from. He knew that he had to get her to somewhere safe, so he told her that he would help her and asked her to follow him over to his truck. She went with him, and after he helped her get into the truck, he got into the truck too. Once they were both in the cab, they noticed that the light had changed, the truck was gone, and the guy was nowhere to be seen.
I sat in the cab of the truck for a while, and I scanned the area over and over for any signs of the truck or the man's return, but he was gone. My heart rate finally started to come back down, and I was able to breathe normally again. I was able to explain to the truck driver what had just happened to me.
The trucker told Melissa he really agreed with her instincts and thought she was pretty intelligent and the timing was perfect to escape. He told her that he has a teenage daughter he would really hope that would make the same decisions that she made. The trucker was a Christian, and he believed God was watching out for Melissa, and he also put the trucker there to make sure that he could witness her escape and be able to help her when she needed it the most. The trucker asked Melissa about her car and what exactly it did, and then asked if he could help fix it. So they made their way back to the car. The trucker got out his toolbox from under his bunk, because that's where he kept it. He got under the hood and started tinkering around. He knew on these old engines, it had to be either spark, fuel, or air. It's always one of those three. Didn't take him long, and he thought he figured out the issue. So he looks over the hood, and he says to Melissa, "Go ahead and give it a try." She turned the key, and the engine roared to life. The trucker asked how far away Melissa lived, and she told him, "Oh, it's about 5 or 6 exits away." He said, "Okay, I'll follow you up to your exit. You take your exit, and then I'm going to keep going so I can make my delivery by morning." She said, "Okay." So as they were going up the highway, Melissa took her exit.
When we got to my exit, I looked out my window and I waved. I mouthed the words thank you to the man, but it seemed so small compared to all that he had done and how appreciative I was of him. He honked and waved back, and he kept going on his way. I really felt like I had met an angel that night, and that God was really looking out for me by sending that trucker. I never even got his name, but I'll always be grateful for his selfless acts of kindness and help that he offered me that night.
Driving with John is coming!